Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2013 Easter Napier Peers Final between Mike Phipps and Grant Lamy and Keith Better with Geoff and Coughy. They have just started the first end and you are joined in this video by amateur commentators Alex Reed and yours truly Matt Gorley. So welcome and enjoy the show.
Thank you for introducing that, Matt. In the semi-finals, for those interested, Mike and Grant played Gina and Derek Owen, and they prevailed in that, I think 8-7. And Keith and Geoff beat Steve Fisher and Lance Jenner in a very stressful game to watch.
And you know the score of that game, Alex?
No idea, but I remember it was very stressful.
Right. So first end, just trying to feel out the weight. Mike looks like he's got it pretty quickly. Second bowl, what a shot.
I would say that these two pairs teams, we could easily be looking at a possible national final here. Both have been very successful for a long, long period of time.
And let's not forget that we have defending Peers title holders in here from last year, where Grant and Mike won the Peers title here. So they'll be keen to defend the title.
Mike's just come off winning his 5th Easter title. He got his gold star in the 4s, I believe. And Geoff Coey, for those interested, is going for his 5th one. He's already has 4, he's going for his gold star.
Yeah, Grant and Mike will be happy with how their weekend's gone so far. I mean, they won the 4s the day before this was played. But without a doubt, they'll be looking for another title, and who wouldn't be, that's for sure.
Not a bad start from Keith, I must say. It's a floor that suits all the players present. It's a good floor for draw bowling. It's nice and fast with decent greens.
Yes, a very famous competition here at Napier. A lot of good players like the floor and the competition. That's why they keep coming back. It's a good weekend, I'd say. Alex, wouldn't you agree?
I would agree with that. And the competition, I believe it's actually harder to qualify, as I well know, in the Easter competition than it would be at the Nationals due to the concentration of good bowlers you get here. You don't get many club teams. Everyone who comes to win. And we had many Patterson players and above turn up for the weekend, and it was very good.
Yeah, Mike and Grant just having a discussion on the head here. Things look to be a little
Having another discussion.
confusing down there. They have quite a good look. Maybe it's deciding which way the jack's going to go if Keith plays onto the head. From what I believe, it is two bowls touching, that front black and that back yellow bowl.
It's a pretty tight head for the first one, I must say. The ball players seem to have picked up the mat pretty well, as you would expect.
Yes, four very capable bowlers in this final. Very capable.
It's about where Mike put his foot. No, it isn't. It was nearly where Mike put his foot. Geoff and Keith's turn to go have a look at the head. It's Keith's last bowl, so be looking for a result. There were some amazing games, as you saw too, Matt, leading up to this. I watched Keith and Geoff play Paul Wright and Richard Keddy, and was about the last 16? Last 8, last 16? And that was a fantastic game to watch. Using the box, I held out a bit on him.
Mike's just checking to see what the head is. Grant looks like he's ready to kick this bowl, but goes up to the head regardless.
all got pretty good eyes.
Well, none of them need glasses yet, Alex, so I'd say that's a good sign. Let's not forget that Keith and Geoff won the Napier Gold Star Peers on the score last year as well, back in October.
Oh, he hasn't played it, which means it's either a draw in head or they've got one. Probably they've got, actually, yeah, I don't know. They've moved them away. One yellow. One yellow it is. Means what? Grant and Mike lead 1-0 after one. Can you remember how many ends it is, Matt?
His game's always 9 ends.
9 ends? Oh, it's a 9-end game then. Could be slightly downhill this way based on that jack. It seemed to run on quite a lot. You'll notice too we have a wide mix of deliveries in this final. We've got a classic delivery from Lamy, a left-handed push bowl from Geoff, a wrong knee up from Mike, and differing deliveries on each hand while facing straight with Keith. Which just goes to show what a what's the word for it? Widespread versions on this game can work fine as long as it works. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Yes. The average spectator probably is very confusing having 4 different delivery styles, but there is more than one way to do the job correctly, as shown by all these bowlers.
Pretty neck and neck leading there. Black probably slight advantage with their back bowl in a marginally better position than yellow. Looks like a nice mat to play on, I must say. Good bowl by Mike there.
Yeah, they're still going to have a good duel this whole game, I'd say. Geoff just looking to reach that back yellow bowl, possibly move it about 4 or 5 inches. It's pretty close here. Oh, he's got it well played.
Great shot. Yellow does have pretty good position at the back, and the jack could squeeze back there, or Lamy could play a plan onto the yellow, I'm not sure.
You see that Keith was happy with that last bowl, just exchanging low fives in between the change of ends. It's going to change something, that's for sure.
Yeah, good weight. Didn't really matter which one he hit, he just wanted to move the jack out there.
Yeah, changing the head was what he wanted, changing the head was what he got. He
played it with the right weight so that it wouldn't kill.
It also means that those front black bowls also become non-existent in the game.
Yeah, negated.
Again, and it's Keith promotes them, so he was holding 2, possibly 3 before Keith's last bowl there.
Pretty good bowl by Keith as well. Lamy can get around the front yellow, it's a very good track.
Oh, he's played it pretty well.
Not bad at all. Be a bit unhappy that he's left himself that rest for Keith, I would say. Probably wanted to stop on the other side of the head, or the side of the jack.
Yeah, Keith's just looking to reach the yellow bowl, possibly sit it down.
Is it around it?
Yeah, either.
Is it around it? Great shot. Good bowl by Keith. Lamy staying on the forehand. He's taken a wider line. Came back in quite a lot. Yeah, he threw a bit fast. They're holding 2, so Keith's just looking to reach in for 3. Deciding what hand to play it on. Yep. Geoff changed his mind. He's going to play it on the backhand. Rest on his black. He's got 3. Relatively safe.
Yeah, it takes out the jack slice, possibly back to the yellow again. I'd over the backhand. He's played 2 good bowls on the backhand so far. He's going to play the same as his last bowl, and it looks like he's done that very well.
Make it three on the backhand, pretty good. So they've got 3 there, which makes them lead by reading the scoreboard. 3-1 after 2.
Yeah, 3 bowls, 3 shots from Keith. He'll be bloody happy with that result.
All players have been playing exceptionally well all day, I must say. I watched them. They were good games to watch. Geoff is always a very consistent lead. I think this way must be uphill.
From what I remember of the floor, it was slightly uphill this way. Only slightly, but enough to make you think about it.
That hand also seems to have a pretty vicious swing. You need to push it about that green to get it.
Geoff looks like he's made a good correction. He's got a back bowl in the head.
So Mike will be looking to follow that. If he picks up the jack, it's a bonus. He's taking a slightly narrower line than Geoff. Ooh, unlucky to fit through the black and the yellow. Wouldn't even be too bad if Geoff came underneath the jack at this stage.
He's done exactly that.
Pretty good. All players here have also played at North Island level. Both Keith and Geoff have played at North Island level. Mike and Grant have played at New Zealand. Mike is the current New Zealand reserve and Grant is in the team this year. Great shot by Mike, actually.
Yeah, Grant is the current New Zealand captain for the 2013 Test in May against Australia, where New Zealand will be looking to win the trophy back after about, have we lost it 7 years now, I think?
No, not quite that bad. We actually, it's every second year, isn't it? We had a draw last year, and we lost it the time before, and then the time before that it was a draw. But due to the rules, we got to keep it the time before because we'd won it the time before that. I believe that's actually been changed now. I think there can be a count back if it's drawn on game points. Whereas the current rules say that if it's drawn on game points, it's a good bowl by Grant. The previous holder gets to retain the trophy. So altogether we haven't had it for 4 years, so it's about time we got it back, I think. Keith looking to rest on that yellow, eh? Take that as a yes. Doesn't look very happy with it.
No, he's quite narrow. Not a good bowl at all.
Yeah, remembering that it's a swingy hand, I think. He won't forget it next time.
Grant looking to capitalise on the situation.
Even reaching around the back is a good bowl. How's the line? The tap of the foot there. Inside out? No, I didn't even need it. Keith still has a couple of free bowls to rest on. His margin of error can be reasonable, I think. Moving the jack is what he's aiming for, but landing on the yellows is fine as well. Just taking a better line this time. Much better line. Great shot. Classic Keith bowl there. Grant could be looking perhaps on the forehand. Oh no, he can draw it off. Must have moved the jack a bit more than I thought. How's this?
Slightly heavy.
Another black. Makes it 4-1 to black after 3 of a 9 end game. Note also that when Geoff throws the jack up, he goes on one knee and plays it normally. Just a little quirk. Yeah, this way is downhill. Grant getting control of the jack, just moving a little bit from the box. Geoff switching hands, probably because he doesn't want to lose his bowl as easily, so he's decided to change hands, which is quite clever, and Mike's decided to follow. Play the one with the half green instead of the big swing.
He's probably just looking to get there before Mike does as well, you know, if you can beat your opponent to the jack, then you've upset them in the first place.
Yeah, he's been forced onto the swing now from Mike's last bowl and the fact that his first one finished. Here it did. If it runs out, run it out and pick it up. Yeah, very good bowling by Geoff. Mike looking probably to scoop the jack off, won't be shy.
A little bit wide there, but good home nonetheless.
Yeah, it makes it a bit tough for black because most movement's really going to the yellows. If they want it to move back further, they have to hit it a bit more. Tough. Keith indicating that Geoff goes in there. Yeah, pretty good. Saying get Mike to move that. We'll put a position, eh? There's got 2 or 3 options here. If he comes onto the black, it's fine. If he moves the yellow around, it's fine. That is a hand that doesn't swing much. At all, apparently.
Yeah, he probably could afford to be narrow rather than wide, but it's not all bad. He's got back holes on the head.
Not a bad position at all. Keith and Geoff are looking probably they need to protect that really. Suggesting punching through the yellow, I think.
That seems to be the case.
Hold your line.
Oh,
What happened? What happened? Something may have happened. No, nothing happened.
Playing forehand, looking to come onto either black. So much a good result in there.
Yeah, Lami's very good with this controlled weight type shot. Just a little bit over. Bit stiff that result actually. I think anything else would be good, but they have left themselves with a shot for 3 or 4. If Keith and Geoff don't move it, they can just play on the backhand onto the plant, and the black's gone. So Keith and Geoff will be aware of that. And any movement, even if they move their shot black bowl around a bit so that it can't be hit out of the head, it's a good result. Remembering this hand has a massive swing. How's his line? Didn't swing that much with weight.
No, not at all.
It's a bit surprising actually.
Just reminding our viewers that when Keith does play the forehand, he does stand up. It doesn't mean he's going to play a stand-up drive every time, as some people tend to suspect.
Yeah, he plays it due to his back. He'll play it for even a draw shot. He used to play it for run shots, and it got quite confusing because you'd see him stand up and go, oh, he's going to play run shot, and he'd just draw. And he does it remarkably well. Lami will be a bit annoyed with his last bowl because the hand which had been hanging decided to swing a bit. So the players are still really finding the mat and what it does with weight. Although it is still a pretty bad position for Keith and Geoff at the moment. Keith looking to reach through that gap. See, this is going to swing, I think. Oh, that's an acceptable position, really. Lami looking to squeeze the jack. Could he squeeze it, do you think, Matt?
From here, it looks possible, yes. Even looking...
Tap on the black. That's clever. Back in onto the black. Don't know if it's touching or not, but it's got a bit of a swing, so he's played it pretty well, I'd say. Ready, and tap. Fantastic shot. Perfect weight. Like we mean about Lami's weight control, that had to be very, very precise, and he played it well. So that's 2 to yellow, which makes the score 4-3 to black after 4 ends of a 9-end game. We'll see if Mike decides to play the swinging hand or the straight one. Looks like he's going for the swing.
Yeah, Mike's been favouring his backhand so far this game. Haven't seen many forehand shots from him so far.
positive as bowlers that has seemed to have blocked up the back end, at least temporarily. This way must be slightly uphill, both players falling a little bit short, neither of them playing bad. Ours is a line. Underneath the jack. Kind of. There's been a pretty titanic battle so far with the leads, both of them playing it very well. Not much position at the back of the head this end, which is slightly unusual. Interesting to see how it develops when the skips play their bowls.
Yeah, Skip's probably not too happy to see they've both got their arms folded down there.
Yeah. Definitely no back bowls now. Be a very good shot if Geoff can draw the jack.
Yeah, Mike's last bowl was played well, nice rake of the jack.
Has he got the weight? Just ran out of puff. Geoff won't be very pleased with that, though. He won't be able to tell. You can never tell. Lamy looking to seal it up, I'd say. Make it tough for Keith. I think the jack's behind the furthest back yellow, or on the side of the furthest back yellow. Geoff's bowl was useful, although Lamy, I think he might have blocked the gate. Be looking through the split there, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. Keith won't be short on this, I can guarantee it.
Well guaranteed. Split. Oh. It was a bit unlucky with that result, actually, I'd say. He wanted the yellow first, or at least both the bowls, and he just played it so that he got a little rub off the black and went the sanding out of the head. Lamy indicating where he wants to go. You can't see it in this picture, but there's quite a lot of spectators sitting on the bleachers where the camera is, and that was good to see. It's good to see people stay behind and watch finals like these.
Grant won't be too happy with those last bowls.
Yeah, he will be. He doesn't look too happy with them at all. All the players seem to be struggling a little bit, especially on the swing hand and on the uphill, but the bowls don't run out as well. Keith and Geoff having a discussion. Is he going to crouch or kneel? And he's kneeling.
Same sort of bowl, I think, this one.
Perhaps slightly more weight. He's at least cut it down to one. Lamb probably looking in the gate or around it. I know. Where's the jack? Is it behind
I think it's by the back yellow.
back middle yellow? I think it's by the back middle yellow. So I'll be looking in the gate personally.
Yeah, seal it up, make it hard.
Yeah, bit of an inside out shot. You can afford to have a bit of weight. Ready? And sit down. Probably going to force, I'd say, Keith onto the other hand now. Maybe through, I don't know where the jack is, so I don't know if he's going to kill it or not, but they'll have a look and we'll know soon. Like Mike and Grant, Keith and Geoff have very good bowls relationship over the head because they've played together for a long time, so they know exactly how each other plays, and they have similar ideas about what shot should be played. And if you watch Grant and Mike, you see a very similar thing. I think they're just looking at where the jack's going to go if it gets hit. Look to see if he throws his mat. Well, the suspense is killing me, and he's kneeling.
Yeah, they thought long and hard about that shot.
using the box a bit for those observant people. Nothing must have been on. 1 yellow.
Yeah, 1 yellow. 4 all, is it?
Yes, it brings it all square. Well done, Matt. Brings it all square after 5. Be interesting to see which hand Mike decides to play this on. If he plays the straight or the swing. Yeah, they're going for the straight. Recognise they've had a bit of trouble on the swinging hand and would rather leave it for others. Yeah, it's thinking.
Yeah, even the straight hands powered out a bit for Mike there.
Yeah. Just allowing Geoff to become slightly underneath it. Mike's ideal shot there would have been to force Geoff onto the swing and make it tougher for him. Whereas Geoff's actually just done that. Very good bowl. Mike has to push it right out to the edge. Well, nearly out to the edge. Oh, it's going to run on. I did that to Keith as well. They put a little bit extra weight on and the bowl just doesn't want to swing. Doesn't want to come back. Seems to hang out slightly. How's this? Spot.
Yeah, just put a nice one around the back.
Spot's a good place. A little bit further would have been nice, but he will definitely not be unhappy with that bowl.
Mike probably looking to come onto that black bowl.
Mike
swung at the last minute.
Slightly unhappy with that. It was a bit of a late swing. Geoff's chance to capitalise, knowing that if they leave it for Lamy, he'll probably nail it. He needs to improve the situation. Swing. Yep, good bowling.
He's played it well. This has probably been Mike's worst end of the game so far. He's been playing pretty well.
Probably the only end that's actually swung in someone's favour, lead-wise. They've had a pretty good battle. But I would argue that Geoff would be one of the better...
Oh, is it going to stay on? Oh, good weight control, Grant.
Again,
well played.
With the weight control, he never seems to play a bowl with weight that could kill it. You know, if it goes wrong and he hits it, the jack's not going to kill. He's always very control weight, or he has been in this game at least. It's a good skill to have. But I would argue that Geoff be one of the better leads, definitely in the Tauranga region, but possibly or probably in the country it'd be one of the better leads. They've had a lot of success.
Yeah, Keith's still holding 3 shots here. Grant looking to possibly draw right around or just rest on that back black bowl if he can.
I'll be looking at resting on the black. See the perfect green he took?
Right out to the edge, and he's cut it down. He's done well there.
Yeah, he has. Keith has to make a decision really. He could land on that yellow and then play it out with his next bowl, knowing that he's going to do something, knowing that Grant probably won't miss again.
He's preferred to come underneath on the yellow bowls, but he's gone wide. And he hasn't changed the head at all, really.
Lamy looking for a little bit more weight. His green was perfect. He could even actually look at narrowing his lineup a bit and taking that black off, because they'll be sitting with... He's got the second shot at least, and if his bowl stays on the mat, that leaves him with 2 and forces Keith to play a hand he hasn't played this end. Interesting to see what he does. Has he played it with any more weight? Clearly.
Oh. Just more just roll that bowl off and hit a screamer.
Yeah, he even floated up the mat to see if it was close. Don't see how Keith can get rid of those bowls really. He just has to draw in for a second shot. He might have had an opportunity if there was just 1 yellow there, but there's 2 pretty close.
Yeah, he won't be looking to do anything other than a draw, I think.
He's staying on the backhand. Probably doesn't think he can get enough swing on the forehand.
I think you mean enough green there, Alex. The swing's enough, but...
Well, they scored 1 point, which puts it at 5-4 after 6. 5-4 after 6. Again, be interesting to see which hand the lead decides to play. Oh, no, sorting out the bowls. So trade he's picked up from Keith, obviously. Deciding to go on the swing. Which Geoff's been playing quite well, remembering it's uphill. How's the line?
Yeah, looks like he's nailed it this time. He has.
Yeah, very good bowl. Geoff is a player who, well, actually they're all players, because they're good. They're all players who can play very, very well under pressure. It's all fine and well to play consistent bowls at a club night or at a club tournament, but to do it consistently in finals or high level rep stuff is a bit different, and all of them have proven they can do that. And Geoff's one who has. Every time he goes to a Welsh, he seems to pretty much top score. And the same goes for Pedersen. He responds well to pressure and he plays very well under it. Mike looking to match that back black, I'd say. If he pushes his own yellow up, it's not a bad result. And if he comes underneath and sits there, it's not a bad result either. Yeah, Geoff looking to reach around too.
Mike probably would have preferred to be behind there.
Yeah, it would have been the optimal.
If Geoff gets one in a good position at the back here, Mike will be under pressure to play a good bowl, and Geoff has done that.
Very good bowl by Geoff. No back bowls for yellow at this point. Mike reaching into the head a little bit. Now see if it hangs out on it with weight or not.
Mike's wiring this bowl. He's got one around the back. It's good.
Yep, good position. I'd say the jack's in between those 4 front bowls. Or is it 5 front? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 4 front bowls.
Players seem to prefer playing around the mat as the game's going on.
Yes.
As you'll see, the backhand has been the most preferred hand in this game by far.
Most responsive hand. It seems to swing very well, run on nicely, and all players here are draw bowlers predominantly, although they're all capable also of playing any other shot, but they're very good draw bowlers. So that's probably why they prefer it. The sand runs a bit straight. It'll be interesting to see what Lamy does. Putting a positional bowl in. Must be looking at moving the jack slightly. We haven't seen Keith play his forehand very often this game, which is a bit unusual. He usually uses it quite a lot. Big swing. Probably wanted 3 or 4 rolls on his bowl, more than that. Lamy playing his forehand.
I think he's just looking to play the same bowl almost, maybe a little bit tighter.
He's riding it out, walking up the mat. Keith and Geoff, it's a very tight head actually, this one's turning to, with all the bowls and quite close proximity really.
Yeah, not a lot we can tell from down here, but who do you think's holding the shot, Alex?
Based on the fact that Keith is looking to be a bit aggressive and he is playing his forehand here, I would say that it's either close or yellow is holding, because they're obviously looking to change the head, and Lamy's got last pole, so they wouldn't do that.
It's going to hit something here.
What's it done?
Yellow holding one, I think.
One yellow. So Lamy looking to draw through the gate. Scores 5-4 to black after 6 ends of 9. And this bowl could make it. How's it? Well, his line's good. Just his weight, possibly. The score is now 5-all after 7 ends. So this is the second to last end. So if Keith and Geoff drop one, they've got last bowl, last end. If they, either you want to drop one or get 2 or 3, because it's not a very nice position to go and only being one up and not having the last bowl. Isn't that right?
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree there. This is an end that you really want to take advantage of quite distinctive in terms of how the last end will be played.
Good bowling by Mike here. Good leading by Mike. Geoff probably looking to match. Even if he matches the back black, it's a good bowl. Get a bit of position.
Oh, he's come up with 2 short bowls here. Not a good start to your second and last end when you're all square.
He'll be a bit frustrated with that, I think. Lamy indicating to play the forehand. If Mike cuts his green, it's not a bad thing because the bowl. Oh, how's this?
He's going to draw right around a bit.
How is this? Great shot by Mike. They have to decide whether they want Geoff to be aggressive or put a position bowl in. And he's decided either. They're looking probably foot over onto that black if he gets around it. It's okay. Do half of each. That's not a bad position for black to sit in. Neither is it a good one.
No, I wouldn't call it a good one.
It's not a good one either. And it's not.
I definitely favour yellow by a mile.
Yeah, yellow's got 1 or 2, and they're sitting with good position at the back of the head. So it all really depends on what Grant does here. Keith will definitely be looking into that, possibly onto Geoff's last bowl. Onto that. How's this? Yeah, looks even worse. You could possibly play onto that middle black. I don't know if it's going to get the check or not, but if it doesn't, you're clearing off 2 of their bowls and possibly, yeah, that's what they're suggesting, possibly opening the head up. Or you could draw close, make it tighter. Not sure. What would you do, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, you got to open it up. Either of those black bowls looks like it's going to do something better than what it is now. I mean, it can't really get much worse in this situation. Keith looks like he's trying for that middle black.
Good reaching weight.
Not got it quite that well.
He's had a couple of what I would term slightly unlucky results in this game with his weighted shots. He's been within 2 or 3 centimetres of his intended target, and they just haven't quite come off. There was a bowl going back the other way on the backhand earlier on in the game, and he was playing for a split, and he just rubbed off the black and out of the head. And similar things just happened. He kind of got what he was going for, but the bowl didn't finish properly.
Grant might be looking to play a block here.
Yes.
Yeah, look, he's doing just that.
It's actually not a bad block. Keith would need to use the box now, I think, or they could consider playing the other hand. Not sure how much is actually on the other hand, really. The head's getting tighter and tighter. If they play it and squeeze, it's okay, but you'd have to get through it. Like if you play onto that black to split on the side of the head, you might get a bit of movement on the yellow. Coming underneath it, not really. It's a pretty tough head to play, I would say. I think they're only 1 down, they could be 2. Yeah, Keith decided to play the same bowl as he did last time.
He's got to come underneath that yellow onto that front black. And the block will work perfectly. the block has worked perfectly.
It's a very good block by Lamy. Very
He's
good.
just been play the same again.
Yeah, it was a very good effort by Keith as well. Millimeters in it. Lamy's done the same thing, has he?
Yeah, he's put it one in a little bit shorter, I think, this time, or a little bit heavier.
A little bit heavier. Pretty similar block, probably even a better one actually. Now Keith and Geoff will be thinking if they drop one, that's actually quite a good position to go into the last end because it's not too tough to get one. If they drop two, they need to change something because two's a bit tougher, especially against opposition like Lamy and Mike. They can let you have one, but to let you have two requires some effort. They're just looking and seeing if they can hit it. Geoff coming down to say hello.
Yeah, it's a very tough position for Keith here.
That block is in a very annoying place, really.
As any good blockers.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I think their best option is to try cut it down to one, but even that's difficult because the yellow's locked into the head.
Yeah, definitely two down, I think, judging from my eyes.
Yeah,
having a long, hard discussion about how this head's going to pan out.
Oh, the problem is it's pretty difficult to get the shot. You know, if he plays onto that very outside black, which you can't see anything of, he might get something. If he plays onto the next one, they'd split.
That one ended up putting it there.
He can't hit it square onto the yellow. They'd split, so the black would get an edge of the yellow, which might then sit that down. No, it's a very tough head to look at, and I don't really know what he's going to do. I don't know what I would do, so to think what he would do, I have no idea. What would you be looking at if you were playing this head, Matt?
If I was in Keith's position here, I would, judging from what we can see, yeah, I'd be looking to play that closest black into the head.
Yeah.
I think that's the best shot that he's got. Although he's playing it forehand. Or he's playing a run shot, I don't even know.
We don't know if he's running or drawing, actually. Oh, he's running.
Forehand.
Around it.
So they dropped two there.
Yeah, they did. Another slightly unlucky result, you know. I think the bowl just hasn't been quite going for them this game, although it has been a very fantastic and close game. Keith and Geoff will be looking for two to force an extra end, I'd say. And Grant and Mike can afford to be a bit defensive. They don't mind dropping one, but a two, they can't.
Yeah, two up playing the last end, it's a confident position.
Yeah, it's a nice position to be in because when you get this calibre of a final, and it has been a very high calibre one, and you look at their heads and all these ends, they've been very tight. I don't think anyone scored higher than a 2. Oh no, there was a 3, wasn't there? Yeah, we've had 1 3 and the rest of them have been 2s and 1s. It just shows how tight the good bowl by Geoff, tight the heads have been. So they, you know, they'll be happy to go into this because it's hard to score 3 for a win and 2 for a draw. Well, you know, you still have another end, and they can let them have 1. Mike will be a bit unhappy with that.
He doesn't want to let himself down in the last end of the game.
It has been a titanic battle of the leads. Get around it. It's going to make it around.
Oh, he's just break the jack a bit. He's given Mike an insight here.
He has.
I didn't really want to do that.
It was almost a perfect bowl. It was just unlucky. Got a little edge of the black. Again, they're looking, if they keep it down... Oh, Mike's going to go overlook. Mike and Grant just need to keep it down to 1. If they can drop 1, it's fine. If they can score 1, it's fine. Even if they drop 2, it's acceptable. So they're not looking from an offensive position. They're not looking to attack the head. They're looking to defend it.
Yeah, there's 2 arguments to this. There's the passive position, and then there's the aggressive position. Sometimes it's better to be a little bit aggressive just to eliminate your opponent's opportunities.
Yeah, that's well, yes.
So I think they're gonna get Mike to play onto that black ball.
Swing.
He's missed it, but it's not all bad. He's still got 2 balls close there. That any jack movement, it looks like it should favour yellow.
Yeah, Grant won't be afraid. Geoff just trying to put a third one in.
He's holding 3 there.
Pretty good bowling by Geoff.
Good recovery from the last end. I mean, he probably felt he let the team down a bit last end, but he's given them a chance. That's all he can do, give himself a chance.
Yep. Lamy will not be shy at this.
No, there doesn't look like there's any chance of a kill, so...
Square on to the black. That fantastic control weight that he has. Great ball.
Yeah, seems like he's played it pretty well. Mike was happy.
His weight was perfect. Not really sure how the head is sitting. I would hazard a guess maybe 1 or 2 yellow. I think the jack moved back a bit. Keith just needs to be into that. He's got 2 more bowls and he's got the last bowl.
Ooh.
I'm not really sure what that did.
I don't think it helped them at all.
It certainly didn't. Mike and Grant having a good look at the head as well.
I think now's the time they'll just play cover bowls this time.
Yeah, they don't want to change the way
the
way the head is sitting. It's pretty tough for Keith, so they don't want to give him any further opportunity by giving him something to hit. They're perfectly happy to put a back bowl in or a cover bowl somewhere. They're just indicating Keith's shot, I think. I must say it's been a very, very high quality game, and it's very nice to watch such high quality game of bowls, and that's what we found through all the weekend. I think was all the games were very high quality due to the calibre of players. Well, it was a pleasure to watch, as I think you would agree with me there, Matt.
Yeah, definitely some beautiful games played this weekend. Good players, good bowls, good weekend overall.
Yeah.
And even a good mini putt shot in between.
Yes, Matt has become famous. For those of you who don't know, who don't follow Facebook, Matt, my fellow commentator, has become famous for what some would call a lucky shot at mini putt, involving a ball that bounced out of bounds and then back in for a hole-in-one. For some, it will be the most memorable moment of that weekend. Keith looking to be aggressive onto the black, I think. Give himself a chance for his last one. How's this? Pretty good. Pretty good. What did he do? I think they're sitting with 1. Which is a shame on their behalf, really, because I can't see how they can improve on that situation to get 2.
Now it's very tricky. Grant and Mike will be confident with their last end. Grant is looking to reach around the blacks. Yeah, he's played that well.
Great shot.
You see the jacks just appeared there.
They have give Keith given Keith a chance. He needs to play square through that yellow and sit for two, which is a very difficult shot. He needs to use as much of the box as he can, and he needs to hit it with control weight and get it to swing on a hand that hangs out, which isn't asking that much. I think.
No, it's just your everyday bowl, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, easy.
Run in the mill shot for sure.
It's not difficult at all.
Last bowl of a final.
Be what I would almost term a near impossible shot, because neither bowler has played that hand often. It hangs out with weight, as we've seen, and he needs this bowl to stay on the head. He can't afford just to get one. So it's the only shot available to them.
Yeah, if Keith gets this, they get two. We see next end. If he misses, then Grant might defend the title. Has he got the shot?
Good weight.
Oh, he's a little wide, which means Grant might score again. I don't know what they scored at end.
Great effort. Good final. Good to see. Thank you for watching the YouTube coverage of the Easter Piers.